Okay, this was called Too Many Jamaicans Like Disaster Risk Insurance, says geoscientist. A UK-based geoscientist asserted that too few Jamaicans have insurance coverage for property damage in the event of a natural disaster. Speaking at the second International Conference on Disaster Risk Education Reduction in the Caribbean at the Mines and Geology Division last Wednesday, Dr. Derval Miller emphasized that insurance was the most powerful tool to give a financial cushion in the event of sudden losses. Quote unquote, unfortunately, countries like Jamaica, for example, a middle income country, the take up of insurance is not that great. It's around 10 to 40%, and such. Recovering is challenging, he said. Mill stressed that insurance was a vital risk transfer tool to ensure that recovery funds are readily available. Quote, quote, risk transfer a lot of times in Jamaica is family, or it's your neighbor who helps you out, or international donors, and most of that is not a sustainable mechanism, Miller explained, and I thoroughly agree. According to an Access to Insurance Initiative 2014 report, which looked at how Jamaica handled risk transfer, more than 60% of recovery spending was funded by personal savings. Though insurance is not as accessible or affordable, which is by design, let me just point that out. The geoscientist said that the low take-up rate could be the result of other factors. Some people choose to self-insure, put the money under bed mattress in case and goes back to the savings. Then there's a person who has that perception that a government responsibility said, and the latter, you're dead wrong on that. Dead wrong if you think that. But Bill said that overlaps of government for the recovery process is not sustainable or practical. Again, that is so right, unfortunately. Quote unquote, they don't have a good history. You saw figures 2%, he said, and that some Jamaicans are taking too many chances. I've done some work in Caribbean terrorists, and you go there and they say, "We live here for 40 years before they got the first storm. We never hit, so are we going to move or put a measure in place?" He said they asked. And that's a foolish move on their part, and these are the ones that get screwed. When natural disasters hit, though, they're like headless chickens running around. But I digress. Caribbean terrorists took a severe pounding from Hurricane Dean, Ivan, and Sandy between 2004 and 2012. Yeah, as there for Sandy, I can relate to that. The Natural Hazard Management Program leaders suggested that a diversification of Jamaica's insurance sector is needed. Quote unquote, is in there the government's interest to support an insurance company. It is in their interest to put policies and support retrofitting, he said. Miller explained that these policies would serve as prerequisites to such an insurance claim scheme. Long-term buildings better able to withstand natural hazards, coupled with better planning, would reduce the risk of a huge loss when disaster strikes. Miller used Haiti's 2010 and New Zealand's 2011 earthquakes, which were of a similar magnitude, to illustrate the point. For Haiti, the economic loss was 8 billion, short only 200 million, compared to New Zealand, which covered mostly the loss of 24 billion, but almost all that was insured, he pointed out. And we all know the reason why Haiti got that, because a lot of these foreign policies and these sanctions has helped to keep the country economically crippled. So he's not mentioning that part, but we know that's one of the main reasons why a lot of these natural disasters hit Haiti. That a lot of most of the country is not able to recover when these earthquakes and these storms hit. But I digress. Disaster risk reduction practitioner Namrata Batakara, Miss Goddess. It sounds like a fantasy character. No shade to the person, but that sounds like character from a fantasy show or movie, but said flooding continues to pose a major challenge to property in developing countries. She said that areas less resilient to floods can be helped by property level protection, which begins with the installation of standalone barriers, a helpful flood defense tool. Batakara said that developing countries should aim to improve flood cover on household insurance policies and want to explain that there are other losses associated with disasters. Quote to quote, damage is not always about the physical damage. There are a lot of intangible damage that often happens after flood, she said. Batakara pointed out that some people may suffer from ill health, fear of further flooding, and stress. She concluded that while insurance may not cover these intangible losses, could reduce anxiety about the future. The conference was organized by the University of Chester in the United Kingdom with the support of Mines Geology Division in the Ministry of Transport and Mine. And the article, a very good article though. It's like disaster insurance, risk insurance is very important for anywhere. Not just Jamaica, but like due to the fact that we've had our share of natural disasters, whether it's floods, earthquakes, or whatever. There's unfortunately we have a very bad track record when it comes to insurance. I know I'm both, and due to one the governments we've had, and don't really give a damn about insurance when it comes to the average ordinary Jamaican citizens, and that's been known because like they're like when Hurricane Gilbert struck when I was a little kid. I think someone said that the government believes. I don't know if they say exactly, but I remember them saying something about many. The government says that okay, they consider natural disasters an act of God and are not insurance covered, which basically is their way of saying that we don't give a shit about a lot of the Jamaican citizens. I mean, now, if these are a lot of uptoners or people in nice neighborhoods who got their property destroyed, yeah, they're going to give a shit. But again, that's part of Jamaica's benign neglect policy. So, reason why the risk insurance is so bad in Jamaica is that it's not meant to cover that. The policies that they have here are deliberate, that they're not meant to do anything that really benefits most of the Jamaicans. So just chalk that up to the Jamaica's benign neglect policy. So, but the thing is, what they also say on individual level, they have some very careless, stubborn people who I understand that economically not everyone's able to save up a lot of money towards dealing with stuff like this, but there's some people who are just stubborn, not very bright, who believe that okay, I rather take chances with my life or my property rather than take the necessary safeguards for when natural disaster hits that I can be covered. And those people I do not feel much sympathy for because there are cases where there are warnings given about hurricanes. Certain areas, people are warned to get out to the areas or be prepared, and they choose not to. And then these people cry foul when they get to, when their properties get damaged or personal belongings get damaged, or so are them are the ones who don't get killed get physically injured. So don't really there are these type of people that mindset, and those are people I don't particularly feel sorry for, unfortunately. So I look at it from that perspective. But for this recording, as one important related points of risk insurance that we need to do better. We need to these governments we have need to do better. That bullshit benign benign neglect policy that needs to be destroyed, and the people need to hold their feet to fire to get that benign neglect policy destroyed. Because this risk insurance is part of that benign neglect policy, and that needs to be reversed. But people on an individual level need to be take these things more seriously and be prepared for when disaster strikes. So this is going to stay at the Jamaican Caribbean. Check out the YouTube pages, Miles Goodson Miles Jeff Productions. Okay.